Even though the program is called Decolonize Your Practice, to me the idea is, okay, let's begin with your practice. But if you're going to decolonize this, whatever part that you want to decolonize, there's going to be a next one and a next one. And if you want to be consistent, then you will have or you will want to decolonize parts of your personal life as well.
This is Rebel Therapist, a podcast for entrepreneurs who are trained as therapists and who want to level up their businesses, make a bigger impact, feel fulfilled, and be very well paid. I'm your host, Annie Schusler. How do you create a unique, highly valuable program without completely stressing yourself out? This episode is a masterclass in following your own values and rhythms throughout the creation and marketing processes. You'll also hear me geek out on something simple but brilliant that my guest did that will make her program better and help her fill her program. Meet Silvana Espinoza Lau. She's a psychotherapist, consultant, and embodied liberation educator dedicated to supporting other mental health practitioners in their journeys of decolonization and liberation. Through Decolonize Your Practice, she helps fellow colleagues decolonize their practices in a wholesome and embodied way so that they can serve their clients in a practice centered on anti-oppression, liberation, and decolonization. Welcome, Silvana. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Hi.
So, all right. Tell us a little bit about what you built. What is your program called?
Yeah, so my program is called Decolonize Your Practice, and it's an 8-week program that will be starting this spring, and it's for clinicians. What I would like to offer, what I am offering, is a program for clinicians who already are into social justice, but who want to go even deeper with their social justice values, with anti-oppression, and who really want to apply that into their practice and into their personal life as well. Yeah, so that is like the gist of what the program is about.
Okay, excellent. And it's 8 weeks long. And what is kind of the format of the program? Like how does it all work?
Yeah, so the way that it works is I decided on the format once I had all my ideas together. I wanted to decide on the type of embodied experience that I wanted to offer to other clinicians, what was the information that I wanted to share, the type of relationship that I was going to provide, the type of community that I wanted to have. So that's when I decided that all of those things that I wanted for other clinicians to experience would be best delivered in like a small group coaching format, because to me that feels intimate and it feels very personal. And because the idea of the program is clinicians will get uncomfortable with the topic of decolonization and anti-oppression. And I think that it's better to do it with the same person and with the same small group of people. And in that way, clinicians can get consistency, as they will always have me to answer their questions, or they will always have that small group as a community. So that in the 8 weeks, I think I can provide all the information that I want to provide, review some concepts, and then make it really embodied, like go through experiential practices and also allow them to be in community and to do some processing in between our sessions. Yeah, 8 weeks seem like the appropriate time to go through that experience, and then they can be ready to, or feel more ready to just start implementing whatever they decided to do. It's their action item in their practices.
Okay. And as you were creating this, as you were thinking through the format, did you find that you needed to kind of get outside the box to figure out what you wanted this to look like and kind of how you wanted it to be different from other programs that might be out there?
Yeah, I was very purposeful with that. I noticed that most of the, well, not most, but the message that I see from coaching programs are this idea of progress instead of perfection and just get it done and set a deadline. And I think that is great. But I noticed that my perfectionism was seeping into this program. And together with my perfectionism, this idea of, and it has to be good, and it has to be professional, and it has to be all these things that are not decolonized. So if it makes sense, I think that in the program, there's a lot of breaks, there's a lot of pauses, my own pauses, there's a lot of rest, and there's a lot of deep breathing as I was creating this. I think we're so used to knowledge and books, and that is how we consume our information. Or, in therapy, we have these methodologies and the interventions and the everything, even if it's cognitive or somatic, right? But in creating this program, I don't want to just provide information. I do want for therapists to have a very embodied experience of what it means to decolonize and to have a liberated practice or a practice with liberation-focused values. So there is a lot of experiential exercises in the program. There's a lot of not just cognitive processing, but body processing, if it makes sense. So that's how I was also thinking outside the box in creating this program.
So in helping people to step into liberation in their practices, you also, tell me if I'm getting this wrong, but it's like you liberated this program. You really made it what you saw would be most useful. And I'm imagining like that would feel most easeful for you to run also, or most like you to run.
Completely. Yes. Because I remember down the line, someone asking me, what if you offer CEUs for that? Again, thinking with the very clinical hat. Why don't you offer CEUs for this? Why don't you do it as a course in this way? What about following these structures? And that's exactly what I want to move away from. And that's exactly what I would want other clinicians to experience. My idea with this program is I am not going to teach you what the concept of liberation is or what the concept of anti-oppression is. I am pretty sure that you can Google that and you can find it in 3 seconds, right? But I want whoever enrolls for my program to really experience this idea of this is how I can bring that into my office, how I can bring that into my connection with coworkers, in treating my clients, in writing my notes, in my supervision session, whether I am a supervisor or supervisee, how I am teaching my grad students, and not only the professional self, but also the personal self. This is a conversation that I've had with so many supervisees, this idea of if you have a different trait, chances are that you have tools that you take care of. Well, what's the tool that we're supposed to take care of? It's just ourselves. So, how can I separate that personal and professional self? It's just the one person in the end. So I might as well decolonize all of it. And not just the professional part with the knowledge, but also the personal part with this more experiential process that I am offering in the program.
So it sounds like there's really no part of someone's life that this process might not touch. I could do that without a double negative. It sounds like this will touch every part of a participant's life.
That's the goal. Yes. Even though the program is called Decolonize Your Practice, to me, the idea is, okay, let's begin with your practice. But if you're going to decolonize this, whatever part that you want to decolonize, there's going to be a next one and a next one. And if you want to be consistent, then you will want to decolonize parts of your personal life as well. Because then again, that is what we're doing with our clients. How can we bring consistency and this alignment of values, right? I don't have to be this completely different person at work and in my personal life. So that's the same thing that I would want to offer clinicians as well.
How did you decide to have separate groups for BIPOC participants and for white participants?
Because I have experienced both as a participant. I have experienced, this idea of having the mixed cohort where we are all learning because this is what happens in real life. If you go out there, you are not going to have this experience of just being with your BIPOC community or with white identified people. And I completely get that. And I got very good things from those spaces. But I do believe, because I have also experienced, this separate cohorts types of trainings, I do believe that more learning and more experiencing can happen when we have our space to process things. And again, my idea of decolonizing is we're not going to talk about race. There are so many isms, right? It's not just racism and no. I do want to talk about all the isms. But then I think that the thing that's so prevalent is race, that I do want to create a space that is both safe and brave, which seems, like a contradiction, but I think it's possible. But for white identified clinicians, but also for BIPOC clinicians. Race-wise, there is so much trauma happening that I wouldn't want to see a clinician being triggered and not being able to learn or to experience the things that I would want them to experience just because they feel like they need to protect themselves. Because you need to go through the cognitive process of, that person looks like someone who might progress me. I know that they didn't. It wasn't that individual, but still, that's some extra work that they are doing as they are going through this program. And I wouldn't want for another set of clinicians to be thinking, oh my God, am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to not say the right thing? I am assuming, that's not my experience, that's some extra layer of work that they are doing. So I want to offer this space where, I am here, you're paying for my time, ask all your questions. In this space, it's okay. Because if you don't ask them here, where are you going to ask those questions? That's how this space is both safe, but at the same time is brave. Because if your question doesn't make sense, I will let you know in a very gentle and compassionate way. Because I want you to learn, and I don't want you to take these isms to the outside world with your clients, coworkers, peers, etc., etc.
Absolutely. Yeah. How so far are you reaching out to participants and, inviting the right folks into this group?
Yeah, so far, I have a newsletter and people have been subscribing to my newsletter. And I also... I feel like I have just started, and I made a post in 2 Facebook groups. And again, I have been so careful and so thoughtful and intuitive in doing this. Like, I carefully chose the groups where I thought I would find clinicians who resonate with this message. And just yesterday, I tested my pilot program with individuals who have signed up for my newsletter. And tomorrow I am going to test another portion with more clinicians as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
So what does that mean, testing a portion of it?
So the program is 8 weeks, right? And I don't know how I reduced that to 90 minutes. So like a sampler, And yesterday I tested that with a BIPOC cohort. So there are 8 different themes in the program for the 8 weeks. And I was just yesterday offering or explaining which these themes are and offering a little bit of an experiential exercise. And at the end, the accountability piece. So now that you have, gather all this information together, how are you moving forward? What are you going to decolonize? What is that one piece of your practice that you're going to decolonize? And people had amazing ideas yesterday, and I am hoping that that's the same experience tomorrow. And that is with that Facebook post that, again, I carefully chose this couple of groups to to gather clinicians from. And there were a lot of people who were interested, thankfully. So those are two ways in which I have been advertising my group.
Okay, this is amazing. So you went into these Facebook groups and you invited people to participate is it for free in
Yes.
these like short?
Yes. I asked for help.
So good.
What I told them is I would like some volunteers. I have this program. It's ready to go, but I want to test it. And this is the theme. And who would like to participate? All I am asking is for your feedback. That's it. And because, again, I am not the type of, salesy person. I do not resonate with those salesy coaches. So I was just offering that 90 minutes for free. All I ask in return is your feedback. And after that, you're not going to hear from me if you don't want to, but you can subscribe to my newsletter and that's it.
Okay, so they're not even exchanging for the newsletter. You're going to give that as a separate option.
Yes, not at this point.
Yeah,
because, like, again, you're
just testing.
Exactly. I am just testing. And also to feel that, so that I wouldn't feel the pressure of, now I need to perform so well because they are paying for this, or there's an expectation. Like, again, I wanted this to be very, very, very liberated, I guess. So people signed up for that, and I have gotten great feedback so far, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. And then in maybe 3 weeks, I'll be offering that again. But this time I'm going to, and again, because I want to be very aware of making this program decolonized in all the layers of it, in all the aspects of it. In 3 weeks, I will be offering a webinar, and clinicians will know that they are signing up for my newsletter as they are signing up for this webinar. And that's how we'll be connected in case that they want to participate in the future.
Great. And then that one, I'm imagining it's going to be such a piece of cake for you, because you've already been in getting people's help and feedback. You're also kind of just getting experience with what will become the webinar. So
yes,
I love that. It's like 3, 4, 5 birds with one scone, right?
Yes, something
really
like
good.
that.
In just a minute, we're going to get right back to Silvana. First, I want to invite you to sign up for Create Your Program. This is an 8-week process to expand beyond private practice and create your signature program. So you're going to go from having an idea or a bunch of ideas to actually launching your pilot program. And that is the first step to creating a thriving business beyond private practice. This is a small group experience where you're going to get a lot of brave work done in a supportive group of driven and open-hearted entrepreneurs. This is designed to have you launching your program by the end of our time together or as soon as you're ready. Folks are usually surprised at how much support they get from me and from the structure of this experience. This is for you if you're a therapist or a healer and you want to expand your business. Go to rebeltherapist.me to learn more and sign up. All right, let's head back into our conversation with Silvana. What's it been like for you, like emotionally or in any way? What's it been like for you to put yourself out there with this work, with this program that you're building, and to say, I'm creating this?
It has been a very therapeutic experience. Again, for the reasons that I mentioned before, my perfectionism and these ideas that we have been socialized into, conditioned into, I have to be professional, I have to do things in this way. And, and at the same time, in my case, or just like any other clinician, and I either have a private practice or I have a job, so I need to grind, hustle culture, I need to do all these things, I need to work extra hard. I don't want to feel pride in working 60 or 70 hours a week. I know that that's a privileged thing to say. Unfortunately, I know that some people have to do it to pay the bills. That is not my case, thankfully. But I want to incorporate a lot of rest. And I think that that's what this program, in a way, showed me. Knowing that it is so easy for those ways in which we have been conditioned to pop back in and to just want to work that extra hour, summer minutes at night when everybody's sleeping, or on the weekends or just this weekend. So it has been, like I said, therapeutic for me in a way, because it has reminded me that the energy that I want to put in this program, it's an energy of pause and rest and respecting your own pace and honoring your process, whatever that is. And, and of having, if any expectations, those are your own expectations, but these are very compassionate expectations, right? I will figure out what I can do this week, and then I'll figure out what I can do next week. So that's, I think, what this experience has been for me. I feel like I started working on this program more, I don't want to use the word aggressively, but more in a more tangible way. I started working on this program in a more tangible way last year. So yes, there are moments when I think, oh my God, it's been a year and what am I doing? Well, I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because I don't want to neglect my clients. I don't want to neglect my supervisees, and I don't want to neglect my loved ones and the life, I don't want to sacrifice other things for this. And I want that to be reflected in a program that is about how can we liberate ourselves and show our clients or, student supervisees to just liberate ourselves as well. Yeah, so that's what I think that has been an amazing experience in creating this program.
Yeah, so it sounds like there have been a bunch of times along the way where you've seen or kind of felt that pull for hustle,
yes,
or for like some kind of, just for now, push yourself or, abandon yourself. And you've been saying like, oh, I see that. Mm-hmm. That's not how I'm going to do this. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that I have been, to use a little bit of clinical language, I have been acting ACT myself, and I have been IFSing myself as well. Like, yeah, I can see you. And I will just acknowledge that you're there, and I will keep on doing what I want to do based on my own values. And I can see this part that comes from my past, or from conditioning that has to do with perfectionism. So yes. It has been a very wholesome experience, I would say.
I'm really curious about what it will be like once you're running the program. I'm imagining like there's going to be moments when some participants will be falling into that feeling of like, but what's the answer? And like, am I getting it done fast enough? Where am I going to be in 8 weeks? And like that, and what's the lesson? Like, what's the curriculum here? Where you're really changing that is not the model. Like you're really changing that model. And I'm wondering if you're anticipating that and like what you're thinking about what that'll be like if and when you've got students in there who are participants who are like finding themselves in hustle mode.
I think that I have lots of transferable skills from working with people who, it is so easy for all of us to fall into that mode. What are the steps? Just not just talking about my clients, even when I have been in therapy, I think we all have been, again, conditioned to that. So yes, I am expecting that there will be people, and I have experienced that before personally and professionally, what is the step, but what's next, and what is going to be the goal, and what's going to be my target? So am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? And yeah, we'll just roll with the discomfort of the not knowing. And I am not going to tell anyone if they are doing it right or if they are doing it wrong. It's just you have to find your own process, and I am going to be here to, witness you and hold you. And the community is going to be there to hold you as well, and maybe validate you. And maybe they will resonate with you, because you're not going to be the only one going through this experience of unlearning, this step-by-step process, this how to get from A to B way of learning that we've all been conditioned into.
Yeah. Okay, that's beautiful. All right, I want to get geeky with you. Will you tell me about writing that amazing enrollment page? I was just looking at it again yesterday, and it's just so beautifully done. What was that process like? And we can tell people the URL, so this can be kind of like they can read along.
Yes. So it is www.7thselfconsulting.com. That's the URL where the program is at. So I think that the way that I created that enrollment page, it follows the way that I created the program. It was, again, this idea of, does this look right? Does this look wrong? And at some point, I just decided I am just going to put all my draft onto this page. I am going to publish it, and it will be there. And that's what I did. Because, again, to me, it was like, what is professionalism? What is, what is the right way in which a page has to look like? And to me, because this is something that has happened with my counseling work as well, the right people will resonate with the message that I am sending, with the design of my webpage, with the images that I am choosing. I personally believe that. So I would say that the process of creating that webpage was like maybe 4 parts practical and 6 parts intuition. Yes, I was remembering things, for instance, that I got from your program, the idea of just get your message out there, just set a deadline, and let's get things done. And there's going to be more versions of that program. So I was based on that, but I was also based on, I just want to publish this when it feels right. With some anxiety, because it will never feel completely right? But I don't know if that makes sense, but it's okay.
100% makes sense, because I'm rewriting my registration page right now.
Exactly.
And if you ask me in 6 months, I'll probably be rewriting it in some small way again. Yeah, it totally makes sense. We believe sometimes we've got to get this perfect version out, and that isn't something that exists. It's like a conversation. But I mean, you have it's a really strong page. I just actually used it as an example yesterday when someone was saying, like, what does a good sales page look like? And I was like, here's some examples. Here's a new example I think is awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I also resonate with what you're saying. Like, I do believe that this page is a living document. I got some feedback yesterday from that, again, let's call it pilot program. And there is some more information that I will add there, based on what someone told me yesterday. And I am pretty sure it will happen again. Whenever I run, the next and the next version of this program, that information will be changing. Yeah, yes. And I think that also it feels very validating, because to me it feels very non-linear, which is also how I operate. So yeah, I am very pleased with that page. I think it's another example of things being just okay or just good enough. And I am pretty content with that. It doesn't have to be absolute happiness. I'm just content. It looks good. It looks okay. And yeah, I like the way it looks.
I I'm just going to disagree a little bit. I think it looks pretty excellent, but which is completely unrelated to perfection, as we know, right?
Sure.
Because there's just no such thing. It's just a trap.
It is, definitely.
So to stay geeky, I also want to ask you, what tech platforms, like how are you running the program on the behind the scenes side? Is it going to be Zoom? Are you using like Zoom and email to deliver the content, or how's it happening?
I will be using Zoom. Yes, I am using Zoom for the pilots as well. What else am I using? I am using ConvertKit for my newsletter. My platform is on Wix. And I am going to create the participants space in Wix as well, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
okay.
I am in the process on doing that. So I am trying to figure that out. And if that doesn't work, I am pretty sure I will find something else. Let's see what else I am using for technology.
What are you using for your, this is just a question I get all the time. So I'm sure some folks are wondering, like, what are you using for a checkout platform?
I am using, what's the one that is integrated with Wix? I believe it's Square. I don't remember, but it's the one
Square or Stripe.
Or Stripe. I don't remember. I am trying to keep it very simple right now because I do know how these things can get big very fast, or that was my experience with my counseling business. So I just want to try to keep things simple. Otherwise, there will not be enough space in my mind or in myself to contain the program or to hold the program in the way that I want to.
Absolutely. And I know you're familiar with Layla Pomper's work around tech and systems. And I can always hear her saying, like, before you get a new subscription to a tech platform, look at everything you have. Just think about what you need it to do. You probably already have the thing you need. And I love that approach.
Yes. It seems like it can get so complicated so fast, just because you have everything out there offering you everything. But yeah, and again, like that's another thing about my program, that really at the core and all of it, I wanted to embody this idea of simplicity, and things don't have to be complicated. And yeah, if I can use the least programs or the least apps, whatever they call them, I am going to be happy with that.
Excellent. You've told us already some super important things about your program. If someone's walking around and kind of thinking this might be for them, what would you say would be a sign that this program is going to be a good fit for them, that they should check it out?
I think clinicians should check this program out if they already have a basic foundation or a basic knowledge of anti-oppression, of what social justice means, of the idea of decolonization, but they want to do more. They don't want to stay with the idea of, yep, my practice is affirming and welcoming, and I have a sign saying that. I really want to go in deeper. That's the clinician who would be a really good fit for my program. Whoever is ready to get uncomfortable and to get really messy with the things that we're going to discuss, that is a good candidate for my program as well. So any clinician out there who really wants to get deeper into the idea of decolonizing, of, saying Black Lives Matter is not enough, having a banner or having my LGBTQ plus sticker on my office, no, that's not enough. Having an EDI statement, yes, it's a good start, but what else are you doing beyond that? So for those clinicians who really want to know, okay, what can I do moving forward? I feel like I have done enough. I feel like I know this. Like, again, cognitively, I have this knowledge. I know what anti-oppression means. I have studied my actual history of not just America, but, isms happen all around the world, unfortunately, and phobias. But someone who really wants to incorporate this into their practices and also into their personal lives, who understand this idea of, I cannot be a blank slate. I cannot have this divided self for my practice and for my personal life. These things really are together. And I want to be a better clinician and a better person. And I want to learn how to connect with people who don't look like me or who don't have my background. And I don't want to, you would know if you're doing this, I don't want to just check a box of I said the right thing or I did the right thing. I really want to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because I'm just checking a box. So yeah, that's the people who should sign up for my program.
Excellent. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for letting us behind the scenes and telling us more about it.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity.
You can find out more about Silvana and Decolonize Your Practice at seventhselfconsulting.com. I want to thank Jessica Riscala, our producer, and Cosmo Palms, our editor. If you found this episode supportive, please share it with your favorite therapist or healer. That is absolutely how we reach more people. And thank you so much for listening. I'll be with you next time.